So it's been about 3 weeks since the popular streamer Bonnie ended up going viral for a pretty bad reason, being that she was 18 when she ended up doing something with a 16-year-old who lied about being 17. A resurfaced clip from back in her cam days ended up popping up back online, causing the internet to look into it and realize, hey, maybe this Bonnie person, is up to something, right?
Basically, he was actually 16. I thought he was 17. He lied to me. He was a virgin, and I took his virginity. But at the time, my mentality was okay, I don't have casual sex, but this is my only time to have sex with somebody who's younger than me, do the cougar thing, and never see him again, and no one ever know about it, just for the experience. Yes, I do. And so I did it. I just felt perfect. You're funny. But yeah, he was some cute little 16-year-old, and
of course, this caused people to dive into it, find out the age differences and whatnot, and I think you're welcome to think what you want about that 2-year age gap and whatnot, but a lot of people were concerned about the fact that this chick was basically bragging about it and calling herself a cougar over this relationship, which was a little odd. Now, this situation is back in the news again because another streamer by the name of Brady Goo, I guess there was this big group of a bunch of streamers and they were making music and diss tracks about each other and whatnot. And Brady Goo, as the introduction to his song, decided to use the clip of Bonnie admitting to doing those things with
he was actually 16. He was a virgin, and I took his virginity, and I was okay, I'm too much of a slut. I just felt like a slut.
Arky, are you ready to die? I see the look in your eyes. We know what happened.
But basically,
wait, I like the beat. So the intro.
Actually 16. He was a virgin, and I took his virginity, and I was okay, I'm too much of a slut. I just felt like a slut.
Arky, are you ready to die? I see the look in your eyes. You know what happened at the face crib. Why the fuck was you hanging with David? You know he's a fucking rapist. What was Bonnie a minus? What was her to fight doing the same shit?
Now, she would obviously have this reaction because she's been ignoring this controversy, as well as Bonnie, who has been ignoring this controversy. But Cinna, Bonnie, Emiru, these are all roommates of one another and they all stream together very often. So obviously, to basically be in the middle of this group setting where your friends' leaked audio that you've all been ignoring is suddenly played and you have to try to play it off or pretend you don't know what's going on, it's going to be rather embarrassing. Now, after this big group call, her audience basically asked her, why is she defending someone like Bonnie, right, who is now a 30-year-old, but at the time was again 18, and she did something with a 16-year-old. People are asking her, why is she defending this kind of stuff? To which Cinna said this.
Why are you letting people talk shit about your roommate, brother? I don't know how to say this to you. I've already talked about this off stream with her. You don't think if I haven't talked about it off stream, I don't know what's going on? It's on her at that point to deal with it, and she asked me not to. Beyond that, I don't know why you think I'm being a bad friend. If she asks me to say something, then I'll say something. If you don't, use your brain for a second. You know what I mean? That is a grown ass woman. If she specifically asked me to handle a certain way, what do you want me to do? But then at the same time, I'll say this, I'm not gonna let my chat be filled with a bunch of people. I'm gonna just handle how I handle it. But yo, use your brain for a second. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. And it's not is what it is on some blanket shit, obviously. I'm not saying that, but what are you gonna do? But listen, I handle my business the way I handle my business because that's how I've always done it. And that's all you need to know about it from my side because I handle business when I need to.
So basically a nothing reply. She literally said nothing. She just said oh yeah, that's my friend. And she told me not to talk about it. So I'm not going to talk about it. I handle my business, basically implying she's going to mute people or ban people if they talk about it in the chat and whatnot, which led to someone like XQC giving his thoughts on this whole topic.
I've already talked about this off stream with her. You don't think if I haven't...
Oh man, Jesus. Chat, guys, history repeats itself. Brother, this is like a classic Austin, it's a classic LA, it's a classic OTV, OTK. Bro, this is the most classical classic that you're ever gonna see.
I'm talking about it off stream. I don't know what's going on. It's on her at that point to deal with it, and she asked me not to.
Okay.
Beyond that...
Okay, Cinna, I have to call you out on your shit. I have to call you out. You literally made a public statement about not wanting to be friends with Aiden or close to Aiden or whatever because of, oh, I don't agree with what he does or what he says or what he did in the past, whatever. So I got to be hands off, whatever. You hear the most outrageous shit about somebody who's close to you, and now it's, they got to deal with it, but I will enjoy the comfort of the current status quo. Come on, bruh. Listen, when I've been saying this for years, if you cash in a W to look good sometimes, it means you also cash in the L when you look bad. It is what it is. You cannot get it both ways. You can't try to appear a certain way to get W's and then flip around and also get a W on the reverse. Like, there has to be some sort of standing on business. Because that's what it means, standing on business. It means that when you rise, you look cool, but you can fall.
Now, to kind of translate what I think XQC is saying is that, yes, Cinna was very quick to cut ties with Aiden Ross, right? Aiden Ross is a very controversial streamer, says very controversial things and has controversial people on his platform. And Cinna has distanced herself from him for that reason, right? Meanwhile, her best friend, her roommate, Bonnie, is in a similar situation where there's something quite controversial happening with her. And she's now saying the whole like, oh, well, I don't really know. Let her handle that on her own, right? Well, but like, you should have kept that energy when it came to someone like Aiden Ross. If you get a W, you have to be consistent or you're going to get that L. You're going to see the downfall, which is exactly what's happening now with Cinna.
But then at the same time, you know, I'll say this. I'm not gonna let my chat be filled with a bunch of people. I'm gonna just handle how I handle it. But like, yo, use your brain for a second. You don't.
Yeah, but why would the person involved tell you how to operate around it? You know what I mean? I feel like that's also a problem. Like, so does that make sense? Why would the person currently involved in that, should you take their word for it and just and then operate the way they want you to? They are the most biased person to talk to about how you should operate it because they're the one that's the most involved.
And I have to agree with XQC here, right? Like, if you're going to go to someone that's literally in the middle of a controversy to like ask them how they should handle a situation, like whether they speak about it publicly or whatnot, obviously they're going to tell you, do not talk about it. Or if you do talk about it, you know, give my side that like I want everyone to know about. I think that's kind of what people are asking Cinna is, what are your thoughts about it? Not what is Bonnie parroting to you so that you compare it to other people. What are your thoughts about the situation? Whether she thinks it's like the worst thing ever or a nothing burger, that's her thoughts. And I think people want to hear that compared to just having what Bonnie tells her repeated. And now a bit of a twist in this whole drama is that Mizkif, of course, got word of the whole thing. Mizkif, humongous streamer who's involved in his own controversies, SA allegations made by Bonnie and Cinna's roommate Emiru, has now come out to say that Bonnie hated Cinna for 3 years. Bonnie started viewing Cinna as a leech and an opportunist, and they even got into a physical altercation. And now they're like best friends, literal roommates.
Like a VIP spot, right? So I get to go up top. And I went up top and I'm hanging out with Bonnie. So I brought Bonnie to this whole thing. Me and Bonnie went down there. And we're on the top while Simply's performing and it's fun. And this is the first time that I ever met Cinna. So I met Cinna that night. And when I met Cinna, she was all over me. And when I say all over me, I mean she wouldn't stop being all over me and talking to me. It was insane. It was ridiculous. And the entire time, me and Bonnie were looking at each other like, what the fuck is this girl doing? It was ridiculous. So we left the party and Bonnie starts immediately shit-talking Cinna about how she's a bitch, how she's a fake fuck, how she's a clout demon, how she hates this girl, all this crap.
Man, I will tell you, say what you want about Mizkif, have your own opinions about Mizkif, but when bro said he was going demon time, he meant it. This year, it seems like literally every single person who has had a problem or has tried to cancel or cut off Mizkif is all now in their own controversies. And Mizkif is going to be the first person. He is basically like the Paul Revere of like Twitter, Twitch cancellations. He told you guys that demon time was coming and we are seeing it in real time.
Right? She hates her so much and she wouldn't stop hating her for 3 fucking years. Okay? For 3 years, she hated her because of this one moment. And Bonnie was like, you are the fakest fuck. This girl is so fake. This girl is gross. They hated each other. I think Cinna started to realize it because Bonnie's very open when she hates people. And Bonnie never liked her, wouldn't talk about her, and thought that she was just gross and grimy and a leech. All right? One night, this is about a year and a half ago, Russell has a party in my backyard. A lot of people show up. And Cinna and Bonnie both show up. Bonnie starts drinking, and when Bonnie drinks, she gets pretty violent. I'm just saying that, okay? And she gets pretty violent, and she tried to fight Cinna that night. She tried to fight Cinna at my pool. Here's the proof. This is me messaging Emmy. Sorry, Cinna and Bonnie just got into town into a fight. Bonnie basically tried attacking Cinna. OMG, what the fuck? Yeah, people came over and Bonnie ended people over for her. So I'm just like texting shit. I'll tell you when I'm free, right? So I'm literally telling Emmy that Cinna and Bonnie are into a fight. A fist fight. Bonnie tried to straight up fight Cinna at my pool party because she hated her so much from 3 years ago and thought she was a clout, leech, fake fucking bitch who came into Austin, Texas and grinded on me and was basically from the get-go a fucking freak.
Okay, I'll have to be the one to say it. It is funny that Bonnie, of all people, is like calling people clout demons and like leeches and all that, when she literally went from being like a cam girl to hanging out with Esfand, who was like another guy part of this big streamer community. She slowly started to get clout and popularity in her own community, moved away from the adult content, and also calling Cinna a freak for twerking on Mizkif when she is the one who hooked up with the 16-year-old at 18, and she also was a cam girl for many years, you know, doing all kinds of crazy, wacky stuff. Do your own research if you are interested. You just have to admit, that is insanely ironic. Now, that's where I want to wrap the video up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to know your thoughts down below about this new update on the Bonnie situation. Again, this happened about 3 weeks ago, and it's coming back up again because Cinna decided to respond to a comment asking why she was ignoring it, essentially bringing awareness to the situation that, for the most part, like I think a lot of people forgot about. It's not the worst allegations we have ever seen, but it's definitely one of those things where it truly does bring into account like other content creators' morals and like where they stand when it comes to allegations and drama, right? Like the same drama they would cancel other people for. Now that their friends are involved, all of a sudden we're seeing how the tides are moving, right? Thank you though for watching as always. Peace out.